Welcome back to my YouTube channel, The Coins World. Today we dive into the fascinating journey of a small but powerful coin, the Philippine 10 centimo of 1974. Do not let its small size fool you, because behind this coin lies a history that reflects politics, economy, culture, and the very identity of the Filipino people. The 10 centimo of 1974 belongs to the Flora and Fauna series, a set of coins introduced by the Central Bank of the Philippines in 1969. This series was groundbreaking because it shifted the coinage design from historical figures to native plants and animals, emphasizing the country's natural wealth. On the obverse of the 1974 10 centimo, you will see the image of the pili nut, a tree native to the Philippines that symbolizes abundance and agricultural heritage. This choice was no accident. The government wanted to highlight crops that represented livelihood and local pride. The reverse side of the coin displays the official seal of the Central Bank of the Philippines, signifying authority, monetary stability, and national identity. By 1974, the coin carried not just economic value, but also symbolic meaning as the country moved through an era of transformation. The 10 centimo was minted in copper nickel, making it durable and resistant to corrosion. Despite being the second lowest denomination, it played a critical role in daily transactions, especially for small purchases like candies, jeepney fares, and street foods that define Filipino life. But why was 1974 so significant? This was a period under the administration of President Ferdinand Marcos. During martial law, coins became a way to promote nationalism and unity while also shifting public focus towards cultural heritage. The Flora and Fauna series replaced the English series coins, which had been in use since the early years of independence. This was part of the broader Philippinization movement, where Filipino language, symbols, and culture were emphasized in government, schools, and even in money. For collectors, the 197 for 10 centimo is particularly valuable because of its low purchasing power. Most Filipinos at that time saw it as barya or loose change, often neglected, lost, or worn out. As a result, finding high-grade, uncirculated pieces today is quite rare. Coin production in the 1970s also reflected the modernization of the Philippine minting system. Technology was improving, yet occasional mint errors such as off-center strikes, double dies, or planchet flaws made their way into circulation, and these are highly prized by collectors. Even a coin as modest as the Philippine 10 centimo 1974 becomes a doorway to the past, connecting us to culture, identity, and history. To this day, owning this coin feels like holding a piece of 1970s Philippines in your hand. World. Today, we'll explore the story of the Philippine 1 peso coin minted in 1978. At first glance, it might look like an ordinary coin, but once we unfold its history, you'll discover that it reflects not only the Philippines' economic conditions but also its cultural identity during the late 1970s. The 1 peso coin from 1978 was part of the Flora and Fauna series, a coinage design introduced in 1975 by the Central Bank of the Philippines. This series was a major departure from earlier coins that heavily emphasized political and historical figures. The reason behind the Flora and Fauna series was to highlight the Philippines' natural heritage, showcasing its plants and animals as a source of national pride. Instead of faces of leaders or heroes, the coin featured local flora and fauna that symbolized the richness of Philippine biodiversity. On the obverse of the 1978 1 peso coin, however, we still see a portrait of José Rizal, the beloved national hero. His image was chosen because Rizal is not only a revolutionary figure but also a representation of knowledge, reform, and patriotism. On the reverse, the coin displayed a stylized image of a coconut tree, one of the most important crops of the Philippines. Known as the tree of life, the coconut has been a vital resource for centuries, providing food, shelter, and economic opportunities. The choice of the coconut tree symbolized both the agricultural economy of the Philippines and the resilience of its people. It was a subtle reminder of the importance of agriculture even in a rapidly modernizing world. The coin was minted in copper nickel, with a diameter of about 29 millimeters and a weight of around 9.5 grams, making it one of the larger and heavier circulating coins of its time. During the late 1970s, the Philippines was under the government of President Ferdinand Marcos. The coin reflects both his administration's push for modernization and the desire to present the Philippines as a nation rich in resources and culture. The introduction of the Flora and Fauna series also coincided with a period when the Philippines was trying to promote its natural wealth internationally, showcasing its biodiversity as unique and valuable. The 1 peso, 1978 coin was widely circulated and became a common part of everyday transactions, from paying jeepney fares to buying bread in neighborhood bakeries. It carried immense practical value for ordinary Filipinos. For children of the time, the 1 peso coin carried special meaning. It was powerful enough to buy multiple snacks, candies, or even a small meal. It symbolized a time when the peso had stronger purchasing power. Collectors today view the 1978 peso as a coin of nostalgia. Many remember it not just as money but as part of their childhood, a reminder of simpler times in Philippine society. The coconut tree design is considered one of the most iconic elements of the Flora and Fauna series. Today, we are diving deep into the history of the Philippine 25 centimo coin from 1981, a coin that may look small in value, but when explored closely, carries a fascinating story of heritage, identity, and the Philippines' economic journey. Get ready, because the more we unfold its past, the more you will realize how much history is packed into this tiny piece of metal. The 25 centimo coin of 1981 belongs to the Angi Bagong Lipunan, or the New Society series, introduced during the presidency of Ferdinand Marcos. This series was launched in 1975 and represented not just a monetary reform but also a political statement. The term Bagong Lipunan symbolized Marcos' vision of a restructured society after he declared martial law in 1970. By 1981, the Philippines was in a transitional phase. The martial law period was still ongoing, and the economy faced many struggles. The 25 centimo coin reflected this moment, being both a tool of everyday exchange and a reminder of the regime's ideology. Coins like this weren't just money, they were also instruments of state propaganda. The obverse of the 1981-5 centimo coin features the portrait of Juan Luna, one of the Philippines' most celebrated heroes. Luna was a revolutionary painter, political activist, and patriot who used his art to inspire freedom during the Spanish colonial era. His most famous painting, Spoliarium, is still regarded as a national treasure. By placing his image on the coin, the government reminded Filipinos of their enduring struggle for independence and cultural pride. On the reverse side, you'll find the coin's denomination, 25 centimo, the year of issue, and the seal of the Central Bank of the Philippines, also known as Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. The seal itself symbolizes stability and authority, making the coin a representation of both heritage and economic governance. Made primarily from copper nickel, the 25 centimo coin of 1981 was small in size but strong in durability. At a time when inflation was becoming a concern, coins like this helped sustain everyday transactions for public transportation fares, small goods in local markets, and neighborhood stores known as sari-sari stores. What makes this coin even more fascinating is how it fits into the evolution of Philippine coinage. Before decimalization in 1967, the Philippines used centavos, a system influenced by American coinage. But after reforms, the term centimo was officially adopted to reflect Filipino identity more strongly. By 1981, the 25 centimo had become a regular part of daily life, showing how language, culture, and money were deeply intertwined. Reform, yet also carried the timeless image of Juan Luna, a hero who fought for freedom. Interestingly, these coins were mass-produced, which makes them relatively common in circulated conditions. But uncirculated or proof versions, often kept as collectibles, hold greater value for numismatists. Their shine, detail, and preservation make them highly desirable. The 25 centimo 1981 also provides a glimpse into the central bank's role in shaping the national economy. At the time, the bank was responsible for stabilizing the peso and ensuring smooth circulation of money, a difficult task during years of economic challenges. For historians, the coin is more than just currency. It's a piece of tangible evidence of how governments project power and heritage through everyday items. Marcos' administration knew that coins could carry messages as strongly as speeches or posters. Even the choice of metal mattered. Copper nickel was not only cost-effective but also durable. ensuring the coins lasted 3 years of heavy use. This decision reflected practicality in economic policy while still maintaining a standard of quality. Another layer of significance lies in its size and denomination. 25 centimo was often used in exact change for jeepney rides or small snacks, embedding itself into daily life. Generations of Filipinos would have memories tied to this coin. School children buying candies, workers paying fares, or families saving loose change in jars. In global numismatics, the 1981 Philippine 25 centimo coin stands as an example of how developing nations use coinage to strengthen national identity. Collectors outside the Philippines often treasure it as part of world coin collections, admiring both its design and its historical story. Some of these coins today can still be found in flea markets, antique shops, and online platforms. On collector websites, prices vary depending on condition, but they are usually affordable, making them an accessible way for enthusiasts to own a piece of Philippine history. For the younger generation, discovering the 25 centimo 1981 can be an educational journey. It bridges the past with the present, showing how money isn't just about buying and selling, it's about remembering who we are and where we came from. Imagine the countless stories connected to this coin, the hands it passed through, the daily struggles it represented, the children who held it tightly, and the history it silently carried. That is the beauty of numismatics, finding meaning in the smallest details. And when we zoom out even further, the 25 centimo coin becomes a part of the Philippines' wider journey in shaping its national identity, recovering from colonial history, and striving for independence in every aspect, including its money. Today, this coin serves as a reminder that even the smallest denominations carry weight, not just in transactions, but in culture and history. Holding one is like holding a time capsule of 1981, a year that still speaks to us through this small but powerful piece of metal. Into the fascinating history of the Philippine 1 peso coin from the year 2000. This coin may appear ordinary in your hands, but it carries with it layers of history, culture, politics, and economics that make it a true storyteller of its time. By the end of this video, you will see why this coin is more than just a piece of metal and why collectors are always on the lookout for coins like this. The Philippine 1 peso coin from the year 2000 belongs to the BSP series of coins, which were first introduced in 1995. BSP stands for Banco Central ng Pilipinas, the central bank of the country, and this series was designed to modernize the currency after decades of changes and economic challenges. The coin is made primarily of nickel-plated steel, giving it a silver-like shine and durability. It is round in shape, with a smooth edge, and was created to withstand heavy use in circulation, reflecting the everyday life of Filipinos at the turn of the new millennium. On the obverse side, the coin features the portrait of Jose Rizal, the national hero of the Philippines. Rizal, a writer, patriot, and reformist, symbolizes freedom, education, and national identity. His presence on the 1 peso coin reinforces his importance as a central figure in Philippine history. Around Rizal's portrait are inscriptions, including Republica ng Pilipinas at the top and the year of minting, in this case, 2000, at the bottom. This design connects the coin to the nation and the era in which it was produced. The reverse side of the coin shows the logo of the Banco Central ng Pilipinas, which was established in 1993. This symbol emphasizes the authority of the central bank in managing the Philippine monetary system and reflects a new era of independence in the country's financial governance. The year 2000 is significant because it marked the transition into a new millennium. For the Philippines, it was a period of both promise and political turbulence, as the country faced changes in leadership and ongoing economic reforms. The coins from this year became silent witnesses to those events. When Filipinos used the 1 peso coin in 2000, it was far more valuable than it is today. A single peso could buy small everyday essentials like candies, jeepney fares, or snacks, things that today would cost several pesos due to inflation. The BSP series was also notable for replacing the old Flora and Fauna series, which had been in use since 1983. While the Flora and Fauna coins celebrated nature, the BSP series focused more on national heroes and institutions, shifting the emphasis toward patriotism and governance. Collectors consider the 1 peso 2000 coin a part of modern numismatics. While it is not extremely rare in circulated condition, Uncirculated examples and those with errors or mint variations hold special appeal in the numismatic coins world. Today we are going to explore the fascinating journey of the Philippine 5-peso coin of 1997. At first glance, it may look like just another coin, but when you take a closer look at its history, its symbolism, and the time period it represents, you'll realize it carries a much deeper story. This coin is not just metal, it's a reflection of Philippine culture, economy, and national pride during the late 20th century. So, let's dive deep into its 30-part historical story that will make you see this coin in a whole new light. The Philippine 5-peso coin of 1997 was introduced at a time of economic adjustments and national development. It belongs to the BSP Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas coin series that was introduced in the mid-1990s to modernize Philippine currency. This coin was notable because it replaced the earlier smaller versions of the 5-peso note, which had been in circulation for decades. The shift from paper money to coins reflected the government's attempt to save production costs and create longer-lasting currency. The obverse side of the 1997 5-peso coin proudly features the face of Emilio Aguinaldo, the first president of the Philippines. His image symbolizes the fight for independence and the establishment of the First Philippine Republic in 1899. Emilio Aguinaldo's inclusion was not just artistic. It carried a message of patriotism, reminding Filipinos of their struggle against colonial rule and their journey toward nationhood. Surrounding Aguinaldo's portrait is the inscription Republica ng Pilipinas, which emphasizes the sovereignty of the nation. This was particularly meaningful in the 1990s as the Philippines was redefining itself. In the post-Marcos era, the reverse side of the coin carries the seal of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, symbolizing authority, stability, and trust in the national monetary system. The 1997 coin was among the first to highlight the newly formed BSP seal. After its re-establishment in 1993, this 5-peso coin was minted in nickel brass, giving it durability and a golden appearance. The alloy choice was meant to extend the life of the coin. Compared to earlier materials used in smaller denominations, the coin measures 27 millimeters in diameter, making it one of the larger Philippine coins of its time. Its size and distinct color made it easily recognizable in everyday transactions. During the late 1990s, inflation and economic adjustments were pressing issues. The 5-peso coin carried real purchasing power. It could buy snacks, transportation fares, or simple household items, making it a coin that circulated heavily in daily life. What's fascinating is how the 1997 5-peso also became part of Filipino culture. Children used it for arcade games, students for jeepney rides, and families for savings in coin banks. The 1997 issue is significant because it marked the steady decline of the 5-peso banknote. Eventually, the note was fully coins world. Today we will uncover the rich and fascinating history of the Philippine 5-centimo coin minted in 1968, a small yet powerful piece of metal that carries decades of cultural, political, and economic significance. At first glance, this coin may look ordinary, but when we peel back the layers of history, we find stories of transition, identity, and resilience embedded in its design and circulation. Prepare yourself, because this journey into the past will show you how even the tiniest coin can reflect the soul of a nation. The year 1968 was a significant period in Philippine history. The country was under the leadership of President Ferdinand Marcos, who had begun his first term just a few years earlier. This was a time of rapid modernization, infrastructure projects, and political maneuvering. The economy was shifting, and so was the nation's sense of identity. Coins like the 5-centimo played their role in everyday life, connecting the government's vision with the daily exchanges of ordinary Filipinos. The 1968 5-centimo coin belongs to the Filipino series of coins, introduced by the Central Bank of the Philippines in 1967. This series replaced the English series that had been in use since the post-war years. The shift from English inscriptions to Filipino language inscriptions was deliberate. It was part of a wider cultural move to promote national identity and pride. By introducing coins with the word Republica ng Pilipinas, the government reinforced the Filipino language as a unifying symbol. On the obverse of the coin, you'll find the profile of Melchora Aquino, fondly remembered as the mother of the Katipunan. She played a vital role during the Philippine Revolution, by supporting the Katipuneros with food, shelter, and encouragement. Choosing Aquino for the 5-centimo coin was symbolic. It placed women and their contributions at the center of the nation's historical memory, something that was not very common at the time. The reverse side of the coin displayed the seal of the Central Bank of the Philippines, a symbol of authority and economic stability. The presence of this seal not only represented the government's legitimacy but also its responsibility for guiding the financial system during a time of global and regional economic shifts. Every Filipino who held this coin was holding the state's assurance of stability. The coin itself was minted in bronze and had a small diameter, making it light and easy to carry. Although its purchasing power was modest, it played a crucial role in the everyday economy. In the late 1960s, a few centimo could buy simple goods like candies, bread, or small household items. Children in particular treasured these coins, often using them for snacks after school or saving them in piggy banks. Beyond its economic function, the coin also became a witness to history's world. Today, we're going to explore the fascinating journey of the Philippine 10-centimo coin minted in 2014. At first glance, this small denomination might not seem like much, but when we look deeper, it carries layers of history, national identity, and the everyday life of millions of Filipinos. This coin may be tiny in value, yet its story is larger than life. And by the end of this episode, you'll realize why it deserves a place of honor in the world of coin collecting. The 201 for 10 centimo coin belongs to the new generation currency and coin series, which was introduced by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas (BSP) in 2011. This series marked a complete redesign of Philippine coins after decades of using the BSP coin series that began in 1995. The NGC coins were introduced to enhance durability, modernize the design, and improve security features, making counterfeiting much harder. One of the most striking features of the 2014 10-centimo coin is its simple yet elegant design. Unlike earlier coins that featured national heroes, the NGC series introduced native flora as its primary design elements. For the 10-centimo, the chosen symbol was the Kapal Beijing Hoya pubicillix, a beautiful flowering vine native to the Philippines. This change represented a major shift in numismatic philosophy from political figures to nature, signifying pride in the country's biodiversity. The obverse side of the coin bears the name Republica ng Pilipinas along with the national seal reinforcing sovereignty and identity. The reverse features the denomination 10-centimo and the image of the Kapal Beijing, reminding Filipinos of the natural wealth that surrounds them every day. The coin is made of steel and plated with copper, giving it a lightweight but durable quality. Its small size reflects its modest value, but its role in circulation is significant, especially in completing everyday transactions. For vendors, commuters, and ordinary people, the 10-centimo was essential for giving exact change. By 2014, inflation had already reduced the purchasing power of the centimo, but the coin still had a symbolic role. For example, jeepney drivers and small market vendors used it to round off fares and prices. Even though individually these coins had little buying power, in bulk they mattered a lot for business transactions. Collectors often see the 2014 issue as part of a transitional story. It wasn't just a coin, it was part of the effort to introduce the public to a completely new look and feel of Philippine money. The BSP launched extensive educational campaigns to familiarize Filipinos with the NGC coins, teaching them to recognize their unique designs and security features. What makes the 2014 10-centimo coin special is that it reflects the Philippines' cultural values. By featuring native plants, the BSP honored nature as part of the national identity. It uncovered the fascinating stories behind coins that many people overlook. Today, we are diving into the 1988 Philippine 10-centimo coin, a piece that might seem small in value but carries a rich history, deep symbolism, and connections to the country's evolving culture and economy. The 10-centimo coin is part of the Filipino currency system, where the peso is divided into 100 centavos or centimo. Even though the value of 10-centimo may not seem significant today, these coins have played a crucial role in everyday transactions, especially during a time when prices were much lower than they are now. The 1988 issue of the 10-centimo came at an interesting period in Philippine history. Just 2 years earlier, in 1986, the country had experienced the historic People Power Revolution, which brought down the regime of Ferdinand Marcos and restored democracy under President Corazon Aquino. The coin was minted during Aquino's presidency, a time when the country was reshaping its national identity. At the front of the 1988 10-centimo coin, you will find the portrait of Francisco Baltasar, also known as Francisco Balagtas, one of the greatest Filipino literary figures. He is celebrated as the Prince of Tagalog poets and the author of the epic Florandi at Laura, a masterpiece that reflects Filipino values, struggles, and aspirations. His presence on the coin connects literature and history with everyday life. The reverse side of the coin features the official seal of the Central Bank of the Philippines, known as Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. This emphasizes the authority of the institution responsible for monetary stability, reminding Filipinos of the importance of trust and control in the nation's financial system. The coin was made of copper nickel, giving it durability and a silvery appearance. Measuring 17 millimeters in diameter, it was small, lightweight, and practical for daily use. It may have been used to pay for jeepney fares, candies in sari-sari stores, or small household items, making it a part of everyday Filipino life in the late 1980s. Looking deeper into history, the 10-centimo coin represents the evolution of Philippine currency after independence. Earlier coins carried heavy Spanish and American influences, but by the time of the 1988 coin, the Philippines was proudly featuring its own national heroes, writers, and leaders. This was a powerful shift in asserting national identity. The presence of Balagtas on the coin also highlights the importance of language and culture at a time when globalization was influencing the country. Placing a Filipino writer on currency was a reminder of heritage, creativity, and resilience. The late 1980s were also a period of economic adjustment for the Philippines. After years of political turmoil, the Aquino government was working hard to stabilize the peso, control inflation, and encourage foreign investments. Small coins. Today we are diving into the fascinating history of one of the smallest, yet historically rich coins in Philippine currency, the 10-centimo coin from 1970. Don't underestimate its size, because behind this little coin lies a story of heritage, culture, politics, and national identity. The 1970s marked a significant decade for the Philippines. Under President Ferdinand Marcos, the country was undergoing massive political and economic changes. Coins minted during this era reflect not just monetary value but also the national narrative that was being carefully shaped. The 10-centimo 1970 is a perfect example of this. The coin itself belongs to the Filipino series, which was introduced in 1967. This series replaced the English series that had been circulating since the 1950s. The switch from English inscriptions to the Filipino language symbolized a growing sense of national pride and independence. On the obverse of the 1970 10-centimo, we see the figure of Apolinario Mabini, one of the most revered heroes of the Philippines, known as the brains of the revolution. Mabini's inclusion on the coin highlighted his role in shaping the country's fight for independence. His image was chosen to inspire patriotism and remind Filipinos of their revolutionary roots. The reverse of the coin featured the official seal of the Republic of the Philippines. This seal embodied sovereignty, unity, and governance, important themes in the years leading up to the declaration of martial law in 1972. The coin, therefore, was not just money, but also a subtle message of national identity. The material of the 10-centimo 1970 coin was brass, giving it a golden color that set it apart from other small denominations. It was small, lightweight, and practical for daily use, especially during a time when public transportation, street vendors, and small-scale trade flourished. Its diameter was around 17 millimeters, making it one of the smallest coins in circulation at the time. Many Filipinos remember carrying several of these coins in their pockets to buy candies, newspapers, or even a ride in a jeepney. But beyond its everyday utility, the coin had symbolic significance. By honoring Mabini, the government reinforced the idea that heroes of the past should guide the decisions of the present and the future. Collectors today value the 10-centimo 1970, not just for its monetary worth but for the historical context it represents. It tells the story of a nation, asserting its cultural identity through language and design. The 1970s also saw economic challenges, with inflation and rising costs. Coins like the 10-centimo gradually lost much of their purchasing power, yet they remained an essential part of the economy, because small change kept the circulation system alive. Over the years, These coins were used so frequently that many are now found in heavily worn conditions. Finding a 1970 10 centimo in an